Hi, and thanks so much for joining me. Today we are featuring these two brand new Hourglass palettes. If you'd like to see that, please keep watching. And I ordered directly from the Hourglass website, so they pack things really nicely. I have a sample here of the Hourglass Unlocked Mascara. This is the Ambient Lighting Edit Universe. And this is the Ambient Lighting Edit Universe Unlocked. Here they are together, but let's look at this one first. This feels like a metal as well. This is the Ambient Lighting Edit Universe. You can see it has the pattern like some of their products. And there's some metallic paint in there as well. In this palette you have 5 shades. These 4 are new. This one is existing. So this is the Vibrant Heat Strobe Blush, new. The Glistening Bronze Light Bronzer, new. Luminous Rose Blush, new. And the Supernatural Strobe Light Strobe Powder, which is also new. Now this looks a lot more purpley than I thought it would look. And then this is the Ambient Lighting Infinity Powder, which was introduced, I believe, last year. And this one has a deeper shade to the packaging. And this is the same metallic feeling case. It's the Ambient Lighting Edit Universe Unlocked. And then we have only 3 new shades in here. This one is new, it's Rose Heat, which is a blush. This one is also new, it's Coral Flush, a blush. And then this is Solar Strobe Light Strobe Powder, which is also new. Wow, that looks very glowy. This is not new. This is the Radiant Bronze Light Bronzer. And this is the Radiant Light Finishing Powder, which is also part of their permanent collection. And I just swatched this one, the Ambient Lighting Edit Universe, the lighter of the two. And here are the shades. They actually swatched a lot lighter than I thought they would look. So this is gonna be interesting to see them on the face. Okay, next we'll go ahead with the Ambient Lighting Edit Universe Unlocked. And here are the swatches of the Universe Unlocked palette. Much more vibrant, much more visible. I'll actually show them to you side by side. This right here is the first palette, the Universe palette. Here's the deeper of the two, the Universe Unlocked palette. Let's go ahead and try everything on. Welcome back to all of my regular viewers out there, and welcome to those of you who are new, because I know that this palette gets a lot of attention, so thank you so much for heading over. And for those of you who have been here before, you know my forehead is a little bit deeper than the rest of my face, so that's why bronzer really helps. So let's go ahead with, let's see, let's do half and half. Let's go ahead with the lighter palette, I can never remember the name, the Universe palette on this side. So we're gonna take the bronzer, this one right here, and I'm gonna take this Rephr number 5 brush. It looks like it has a bit of a rose tone, so let's see how this goes. Oh yeah, it definitely has a rosier tone to it. And I can tell, especially on my skin tone, I'm really warm. Anything with any pink will really show up on me. Now it's definitely visible, but it's like a rose gold almost on me. That's a new bronzer. It looks very different than I thought it would look in the pan. In the picture, it looks like it has a more, I don't know, like a cooler tone almost to it, but it definitely has like a more rosy coppery tone. I'm looking at the way the color is distributed here, and there's a lot more of that like rose gold tone in there versus the deeper shade, which is actually what I was interested in. But let's go ahead now with the other one. This is a Radiant Bronze Light. This bronzer right here will go on the other side. I'm just gonna flip this brush over. This appears to have a bit more of a peachiness to it versus this one, which has like a rosiness to it. But they kind of actually seem like the same depth. There isn't one that's deeper than the other, which maybe it's because of the ones that I got. Again, these are handmade, so you're gonna get some variation, But I thought that this one, oh, they're sticking to each other, they're magnetic. This one I thought would be deeper than this one. But on the face, they're not really, in terms of depth, that different. Okay, I prefer this tone of the bronzer. Again, that's not a new one. Let's go in with the finishing powder because, yeah, once I get the bronzer on, I feel like I can do something. So I'm gonna take, I've got a Buff and Blur brush. This is the CHANTECAILLE Buff and Blur brush that I use typically for finishing powder. So we're gonna go in with this. And my recollection of this is I didn't love it because it's got some shimmer in there, which emphasizes texture, but let's double check. Adds a bit of color, surprisingly. Yeah, it adds, see the glow, but then it does have the potential to bring about texture if you're concerned about that. Probably not gonna be your favorite powder, but if you wanted to use this, you can always use it on the exterior, which is kind of a nice glow. Definitely wanna go light-handed on this one in any areas of texture for sure. So you can see that glow. Then let's go in with the Radiant Bronze Light, this finishing powder. And what's interesting, I was just thinking about this, it has been about, where's my other brush? It has been about 5 years that I've been on YouTube. So it was September 5 years ago. And this product in this shade, I believe, I can double check, but I think it was the very first video I did was featuring this product. That's how long I've been using Hourglass products. I feel like their powder products are really just stellar. So let's go ahead with this. I feel like I'm a little bit lighter than I was back then, so let's go a little easy on this. Okay, so just stamping. It did add a little bit of color, but what I like about this, and if you have discoloration and you're a little bit deeper than me, this is a great one. It color corrects a little bit and blurs. So this one doesn't have that shimmer in there. Okay, we're gonna see side by side because I can see it pretty clearly here. It's more like a very nice, almost a satiny finish, not quite, but it's very soft in its glow versus this, which is not. I think you can see that light bouncing there a lot differently than here. I forgot how much I like this powder. Okay, I'm not gonna go too heavy-handed because I'm at that tipping point where if you are deeper than me, this is gonna be a great shade for you. I'm not sure how far that range is though, but deeper than me, this is a great shade. I love this powder. And if you are lighter than me, this one's gonna work for you in terms of the finishing, but you have to like that glow. So already, like I'm already loving this just because of the powder and it takes up more of your face than anything else. If you were gonna decide just based on that powder, that might do it for you, but let's look at the blushes next. I love blush, so I'm going to do a little bit of layering. So I'm gonna take this lighter one right here. When I swatched them, they were really very quite subtle, but now I pick it up on the brush and it doesn't look subtle, so let's see how it goes. Okay, that's pretty. There's a bit of a, like a warm glow in there. This is a just blush, but it does have more of a glow than, say, your average blush. See, up here it's bringing out texture, so I've got to be careful. That's one that I would avoid bringing all the way up to the front, and usually I will do that just to help color correct a little more, so I would avoid that. So let's go in with that, and then let's go in here. I'm gonna take the lighter one, which is this one. It's very vibrant, beautiful though. This one is new as well. Okay, so this blush is new, and this one that I'm gonna put on is new. It's the blush in Coral Flush, and I love a good coral blush, but this one doesn't look coral. It looks very pink. And here it is on the brush. Wow, that's got a lot of pigment right away, so I'm just gently applying. I don't wanna put too much. Yeah, just really lightly with this one. Yeah, I really forgot how much I love that finishing powder. I just have had so many other lovely powders that I've used that I kind of forgot about that one. Okay, this one I can bring up to the front without emphasizing texture. But yeah, oh yeah, you can see the difference. Yeah, I like the finish of this palette so far versus the other one. Oh, by the way, I am 49 years old. By the time this comes out next year, I'll be 50. So this is for more mature skin as well, in case you were wondering how this performs on more mature skin. There's a difference. Let's go ahead with the other blushes. Now I love to pop a more intense color onto the blush. So I'm gonna pop it right here. This one, and this is this color right, oh gosh, it is magnetic. So my magnetic brushes are sticking to it. So this color right here, let's take that and pop that on. It is the Strobe Blush in Vibrant Heat. So this is gonna have more shimmer. So let me just take a little, I'm just gonna pop it on there. Yeah, I can definitely see there's more of a glow with this shade. So far, I feel like this is the glowier, lighter palette, and this is like the more subtle, softer, deeper palette. I'm gonna take this now, which is a new shade, the Rose Heat. This one right here. Looks beautiful. I prefer this kind of powder from them in general. Yeah, a little goes a long way here. By the way, they do have another palette that they've come out with, the Trio, for more rich skin tones, and I did not pick that up because I looked at it and I thought those look really beautiful, but I don't think are within my range. So I will leave some channels below if I see it pop up. I'll leave that for you below if you'd like to take a look. Because I see a couple of people I follow are interested in picking it up. So there's that. Okay, that is really vibrant. I feel like this is gonna work for a lot of people. Like the range for this one is gonna be pretty wide. Okay, yeah, so far it just looks better over here, I think. Okay, and then lastly, let's go in with these highlighters. Supernatural Strobe Light, this one right here, which is new. And this looks pretty. It looks like a champagne color. And I know that Hourglass doesn't make the most glowy highlighters out there, but it's pretty glowy for me, because I don't really wear highlighter. There's that, it is more of a champagne, but there is a slight coolness to it as well against my skin tone. Clean this brush off, and then let's go in with this. I'm really curious about the Strobe Powder in Solar Strobe Light over here. This one, you can already see it catching the light. And then I just want to take a little bit of this one and put it in the inner corner. That's really pretty. I think this is great for warmer skin tones as well, because this one's pulling a little cool, and I feel like it doesn't do much for my skin. I'm using this highlighter over here just to compare. So this one is a metallic champagne, and this one's just champagne, although I have to say, it looks a little different in its tone, so I don't know. That's interesting. So let's take a look at these side by side. I feel like it went much better over here on this side with this palette versus this side. Okay, I did want to mention this product right here is the Ambient Lighting Infinity Powder, the one from last year. As you can see, I didn't really use it as much as I would have liked to. And so that's the product in here. And it says here that it fuses 3 acclaimed shades of ambient powder in one: diffused light, dim light, and hypnotic strobe light. And I think that's what I don't really like in here, is that strobe light quality. It's too much shimmer for me, so that's why I don't love this powder. And as you can see, it doesn't really do much for my skin. It makes it glowy, but it's a little too glowy for me, but I think it's a preference thing. So I do have all of the previous palettes. This is not all of them, but I do have them all. I purchase them every year, but they do have a 12-month shelf life. This is the last one that came out within that 12 months. So let's just look really quickly. Here is the deeper, more rich palette. If you look at them like this, there isn't really anything that's completely similar. And then let's take a look at the other one, the last year's holiday palette, and it had 6 pans in it. But if you look at it, again, nothing too similar here either. This is the new one for this year, the lighter of the two against the last year's. I mean, it has 6 pans in it though. That's one main thing. So nothing too similar here either. Here's the other one. So I hope that was a helpful comparison, but I'm just gonna try and even things up, and then I will do my final thoughts on this first impression. So final thoughts on these. I actually wasn't quite sure what I think of them when I saw them online. I was a little bit hesitant because I knew that this powder was not my favorite. And then I also saw that, I think it's this blush here. Yeah, it's a strobe blush. So that means there's more shimmer. I already know I don't love shimmer. I just feel like this didn't do much for my skin. I really liked this one though. And I was really happy to rediscover this because I haven't used this powder in so long. But this is one of the powders I've gone through before. I think 3, maybe 4 of them I've hit pan on. So that was a favorite for such a long time. So I'm so happy that I tried it again. Still the same really beautiful finish. It does a little bit of perfecting as well. Beautiful glow. Nothing that brings out all of that texture in my skin like this one did. And then the blushes are beautiful. I just have to be careful with these because they are very, very pigmented. So just taking it easy on these. I thought that this was beautiful. A little bit too glowy for my taste, but I preferred this tone. And then the bronzer was also better because it had more of a warmth to it versus like a rosier tone in this bronzer right here. Yeah, it definitely had a rosier tone to it, which I was not expecting. So if you are lighter in skin tone than me and you like glow, I think you'll really like this one. I don't prefer the glowy look, but I know some people do. Some people really like this one. So if you already know you like this, you'll probably like the other products in here as well. But I really liked pretty much everything about this one except for maybe the highlighter, just a little bit too much for me, but I do like it in the inner corner. I just left that in the inner corner there. Finishing powder, beautiful. Bronzer, beautiful, as well as the blushes. But again, these 2 are not new. These 3 are new. And then in here again, everything but the finishing powder is new. So these are all new. So that was a first impression. I will continue to try these out throughout the month. I always do a roundup of favorites at the end of the month as well. So look for that in case you'd like to see how these performed over the month. So let me know if you're interested in these palettes, if you picked any of them up. In fact, I know one of you already picked up 2 of them. And I think someone let me know they saw it in store. They are beautiful. I think those are the 2 takeaways here. I even tried to put the finishing powder on top of this powder, but you can still see the glow is coming through. So that's a huge difference in terms of the overall look because this is just more glowy than this side. And then the colors. And I think this one definitely has a wider range of who this will work for versus this one. Yeah, and then this one I feel like has a smaller range because I think you have to be my shade or lighter for this to really work well. And if you'd like reference to foundation shades of mine that work, I'll leave that below in case you are similar to me and not quite sure which one you should pick. But that is it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.